Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of...
Yoshi!
Oh. Right. You know what? Sure. Why not? So 1 year after making his first appearance in the 16-bit Super Mario world, Yoshi finally appears on 8-bit Nintendo. Kinda. Released in 1992 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Yoshi is a puzzle game conceived by the folks at Game Freak, you know, the Pokemon people, where the point of the game is to clear away blocks of fallen critters by stacking a pair of the same type on top of each other. You do this by controlling Mario at the bottom of the well and using the buttons to switch around the 4 columns that will hold your ever-building stacks. And if it isn't readily apparent, only vertical pairs of the same type are cleared from the board. There are no horizontal or diagonal clears to bail you out, so don't. Now, in addition to matching vertical pairs of Goombas to make them go bye-bye, you also have Yoshi eggshells to contend with. Eggshells come in bottom halves and top halves, from which you land a bottom shell on the bottom, obviously, and then you land the top half on top of the bottom half to form a full egg that will hatch into a Yoshi. Now you can build a stack in between the shells so that the higher the stack, the bigger the Yoshi that hatches out of the egg when you close up the egg. This nets you some bonus points and adds an egg to your counter, but it's not all that vital. It's just a nice way to clear up some critters from the board if you play your cards right, but this becomes less helpful with a fullish well. There are 2 game modes, 3 if you want to include the 2-player mode, which is your standard 2-player versus mode where the first to win 3 rounds wins, nothing special there. Speaking of nothing special, you have A mode, which is your endless run where you keep playing until one of the top tiles can't get into the well, and you have B mode where the goal is to clear the well of critters to advance over to the next level. And in between rounds you'll see Mario riding Yoshi and forcing him to eat stuff. What a pal. Yoshi is definitely a twist on the falling block puzzler format in that you have no control over the falling blocks, but rather the 4 stacks that you have to move around to get the critters to land on the stacks you want. Well, almost no control. If a critter is hovering over a small stack, you can swap that stack with a longer stack and the critter will move along with the smaller stack, so that's one way of manipulating things. But beyond that, it's actually pretty good, pretty easy to get into, and somewhat challenging to master, as all worthwhile puzzle games should be. Visually, Yoshi boasts a rather clean-looking layout with the relevant information clearly laid out. Your critters are sprites resembling those from Super Mario Bros. 3 as well as Super Mario World, though poor Mario looks a bit pale on the bottom. The intermissions in between B-mode levels are simple but straightforward, and of course the game gives you a selection of 3 rather pleasant-sounding background tunes that, let's be honest, almost sound like they could fit in with some other Game Freak property that will make them oogles and boogles of money down the road. The sound effects are somewhat underwhelming, but whatever. Overall, Yoshi's a fun little puzzle game that's different enough from the usual fare to be vaguely interesting, is fairly easy enough to pick up and play, and can get challenging as you progress farther into the game. Is it the best use of Yoshi? Probably not, but neither is having him play babysitter to his future slave driver. Either way, fun game, well worth checking out.